Many of you have been through 13 years together, and some of you only 1 or 2, but these friendships have been made and will be a part of you, whether you move far away or stay in the area. I really wondered what I could say to inspire you, or at least make you think. I read and looked for great advice. I talked to people. I kind of came up with 4 ideas. First thing, be passionate about what you do. Second thing, keep your sense of humor. Third, be a grateful and a kind person. And fourth, remember where you came from. First off, develop and pursue a passion for something. It doesn't matter what. It could be being the best parent you can be, or being a wonderful coach, or going into music or art. It may be the law or some kind of charitable work that will make the world a better place. Life is not fully lived unless you feel passion for something you do. And while you're at it, pick someone as an inspiration, an idol. Identify someone you want to be like and whose standards you want to match. Some of you may have already found that in a parent, in a teacher, or in a coach. If you have, never forget their example and try to live by it. I know I wanted to be a teacher because I had great experience in school with my teachers right here in Quincy. My teachers knew me and encouraged the strengths I had. I feel that teaching has been a great career for me, and I'm so glad that I have been a small part of your school experience. No matter what career or life path you choose, be passionate about it. Secondly, when pursuing this choice you are passionate about, work hard, be dedicated, but don't lose yourself or your sense of humor. Don't take yourself so seriously. People who are unable to enjoy things, or if you can't find things to laugh about, you're going to miss out on a lot. A sense of humor will get you through good and bad times alike. Next, don't be a person who's not grateful or thankful for what you have. You are in a place in your life where you are becoming responsible for what you do and what you become. You can work hard and achieve things, or you can sit back and wait to be taken care of. I suggest the first choice. You don't ever want to feel entitled to be waited on. Self-respect comes from doing the work yourself and doing your best. I think the last point, and the most important point for me, was don't forget where you came from. Other than the person you marry or the children you may have, the people in this stadium or out in this field are the most important and formative people in your life. Understand friends come and go, but a precious few should hold on to. Friendships made here may be the strongest you have. Remember all the smiles and words of support you gave each other. All of us have felt we needed to get out, explore the world, and see exciting things. When we were younger, I'm sure many of us felt growing up in a small town was a drag, because everyone knew you, knew your business, or knew your family. We couldn't wait to get away. There were so many places to go and things to do. After I graduated, I went to college and traveled and saw a lot of places. I came to realize that living in a small town was what I wanted. They knew me. They knew my business. They knew my family. My, how perspectives change, especially after I was married and had children. I want them to live in an area where I had great memories. I grew up in a supportive community, a safe place to live with parents who loved me. I wanted my kids to grow up that way too. I'm not saying I regret going away for a while and seeing the country. I feel all my experiences were good, learning, and valuable, but I'm glad I had a place to come home to and start a family. If you decide to go away and experience the world, listen to the words in the Bon Jovi song, "Who Says You Can't Go Home?" Quincy will always be ready for strong, intelligent, loving, and caring families to live here. Bring your talents and your gifts home. Start businesses here. Look at many of our local businesses. Many of these are run by Quincy graduates. It's okay to be proud of the community you came from. And don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do right now. Obviously, I thought I was going to be teaching high school, and I stayed 20 years in elementary. It's okay to try things. Just make sure it's something you care about. You most importantly have been raised by parents and grandparents who love you more than anyone else in the world. They are out there beaming with pride and so happy for you. Yeah, feeling a little bit sad about how quickly time's flown by and the fact you're ready to start on a brand new journey. Someday your own child will be placed in your arms and you'll better understand how you have been a great and wonderful gift. We are sending you out as adults. I know you'll be good ones. A great quote from George Washington Carver said, "How far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with striving, and tolerant of the weak, because someday you will have been all of these." Remember, the last thing I want you to remember, I know you're not going to come down and get candy and all that stuff, but I want you to remember this. Be passionate, keep your sense of humor, be grateful and thankful, remember where you came from. God bless you all, and remember, we love you.
Mrs. Worry says that was scary. Makes me very proud to be a graduate of Quincy High School and know that I'm just a part of the alumni that many of you sit out here and Mrs. Worry is part of. If I were ever to speak at a commencement exercise, I'd want to say the same thing she did. I'd like to give her another round of applause. Would you please allow me to introduce my fellow board members? On your left, if you're in the bleachers, is Mrs. Beverly Siefken, Mr. Dick Knirk, Mr. Keith Preston, Mr. Paul Siegert, Mr. Tom Bean, and Mr. Jack Faulkner would be with us today. He's out of town attending a wedding of a family member, and otherwise I know he would be here and would be glad to be. It was reported at Seniors Honors Night. Excuse me, go ahead. Thank you. It was reported at Senior Honors Night that 84% of this graduating class is furthering their education, either in a 4-year school, a 2-year prep school, armed forces, or some form of further education. I think that is just absolutely a remarkable accomplishment for you as parents and a community and support people, and we thank you extremely. My job as a board member here is basically to confirm that the diplomas are in order and ready to be presented. And I'd like to just say to the class, as many people will, congratulations on all the accomplishments that you've had. It's been our pleasure to offer you the opportunity for a quality education at Quincy Community Schools. We represent the community, and the community is the ones responsible for that. We thank you for exercising those opportunities. You've done a great job. The diplomas are ready to be presented. Thank you.
Thanks for your patience as we get me out of the way so we can get your kids up on stage. Today we're here to recognize and celebrate the graduation of the class of 2006. Before I address the class, they wanted to take a moment to recognize the 2 classmates whose physical lives ended much too soon, but whose spirit and memories still fill all of our hearts. At this time, as we observe a brief moment of silence, I'd like to ask the President, Danny Gray, and Vice President Katricia Johnson to join senior advisors, Mrs. Spalding and Mrs. Milnes, to present a memorial flower in the graduation ceremony caps and gowns to the families of Matthew Allen Avis and Lalo James Carrion.